Welcome. Today I'm going to be describing the new spring 6th grade library lesson plans available from elementarylibrarian.com. These lesson plans are a little bit different than anything that I have put out in the past, and the reason for that is that this semester of lesson plans is actually a large research project that begins in January and ends in May. Students will be learning or reviewing what they know about research in the month of January, and after that, they will start doing some research, asking questions, and then developing and later presenting their own multimedia presentation based on the research that they do in this project. What you'll receive when you purchase the lesson plans, first of all, there are 20 weeks of lesson plans for the 6th grade. This is assuming that you see your students once a week like I do. There's one lesson plan per week for 20 weeks. All of my lesson plans, as always, are aligned to the Common Core and the AASL standards. That's the American Association of School Librarians. I know that a lot of administrators and also school districts are really wanting you to use these standards now, and so I've saved you a lot of time in looking all of these up and getting them into the lesson plans in a meaningful way for you. All of the resources are also included for the lesson plans, including an introductory PowerPoint presentation to show to your students that tells about the project that's coming up, a scoring rubric, a couple of formative assessment exit slips for your students. It also includes a research project question guide for the students and also a research project resources page for your students to cite all of their sources. Let's take a look at some of these files. Once you download the file, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you will see that there are a few different things in the file. First of all, you will see the actual lesson plans themselves in both publisher and PDF format. As you're looking at the lesson plans, if you have Microsoft Publisher, these are editable, and the PDF file, of course, is not editable, but if you don't have Publisher, you can use PDF to access the lesson plans. And so as we look at the lesson plans, they look a lot like everything else that I have done in the past. It's the same format. Let's just take a look at those quickly. Let me get this window out of the way. Here we go. Okay, so we're looking at the lesson plans. First, there's a title page that just tells you that these are the 6th grade lesson plans. Next, this is a page about how to use your lesson plans. Just make sure that you read through this information. It is important information. Next, it tells about, this is the actual lesson plans themselves. It includes a goal and a context, where have they learned about this before. It includes an objective for the lesson, an I can statement for the students. There's your standards, Common Core and AASL. Next is the procedures. This is detailed instructions for the teacher, the method of assessment, and also additional resources. And these additional resources are all included in the lesson plans with the exception of like the online encyclopedia and other library resources. And there's also a place for your lesson reflection that you can either type or handwrite in there after the lesson is over. So that's a little look at the lessons. Also, you'll see a folder that says resources. If you click on that, this is a little bit different than anything I've done in the past. Usually I just let people download the actual lesson plans and then they access the resources on my website. This time I am having you guys download the resources. We're going to try out something new. And so if you open that folder, you'll see that there are 2 different file types for each thing for the most part. Usually it's either a Word or Publisher file and a PDF. The reason that I do that is because in case you have trouble opening the editable document, you can always open the PDF and see what it's supposed to look like. And so up at the top, you'll see the 2 exit slips. These are just very simple exit slips. One of them is about presentation options, and it's when you're teaching the children about different types of multimedia presentations. And you will see all this in the lesson plans. They go right with the lesson plans. The other one is about website reliability. And so you can, ask the students what makes a website reliable or unreliable. And this is all, it all ties in with each lesson plan and with the entire research unit. Next, this is the Famous Inventions PowerPoint. I already have it open. It can be edited, and so if you decide that you don't want to go with famous inventions of the 20th century, maybe you're collaborating with a teacher and they want to do another subject, you can always change this. This is just a suggestion. This PowerPoint it tells the students basically what the project is, how it's going to be scored, how they're going to choose an invention, how they're going to develop their presentation. Just a good general overview for the students. Next, there is the Research Project Question Guide. This is for the students to record questions and the answers to those questions as they research. And I've asked a couple of questions at the top, and then I've just left space for them to write their own questions and answers. And so that's a big part of the student-led inquiry. That's a large component of the Common Core standards in the 6th grade. And so that's definitely something that you will want to push them to do and help them out to get those good questions asked about their research unit. And again, that's available in both Microsoft Word and PDF. Next is the Research Project Rubric. This is basically just a guideline. You may want to change some of these requirements or just the wording of them. You may also want to assign points to the categories. In my library, I've never had to assign letter grades, and so I just did needs improvement, proficient, or exemplary, but you may want to assign some point values to each of those things. And also you may need to get more detailed in your rubric. I just kind of did a very general overview of that. Next is the Research Project Sources. This is for the students to record where they got their information as they're doing their research. This helps to teach ethical use of information. There's a place for library books, the online encyclopedia, and also websites. And so this again is editable if you decide that you want to do it a little differently. Next is a list of research topics. These are some famous 20th century inventions. You can always add to this, you can take away. You may want to assign topics to your students. You could have them maybe even draw them out of a hat if you don't want two students doing the same topic due to restrictions of library materials, or maybe you don't have a lot of books about the personal computer or something like that. And so that would maybe help to avoid some of those situations. So that's up to you. But those are some suggestions for research topics. And finally, I have included a sample Prezi on the traffic light. And if you open up this document, you'll just see the link to the Prezi. And actually, I already have it open. And this is a presentation that some students created. These are not my students. I just found it on Prezi. And I thought they did a really nice job. When I first started making these lesson plans, I thought that I was going to make either a PowerPoint or a Prezi as an example of a multimedia presentation. And then I got to looking out on the web and I was like, oh, this is really good, and it's student created, which I like even better. So thank you to Julia and Amanda for creating this Prezi that we can look at as an example. Next, we're going to talk about how to download the zip file from the Elementary Librarian website. If you are looking at your receipt after purchase, you should see an order number down at the bottom. If you do not see that order number, press the F5 key on your keyboard and that will refresh the screen, and you should be able to get your receipt then. Scroll down to the bottom of that receipt and you will see the products you purchased, and you're going to click download. Once you click download, you'll see down here at the very bottom it is downloading the file. And on my computer, it actually opens up immediately. Yours may not. If it does not, just go ahead and click on the little arrow down at the bottom of the download and click on Show in Folder. And again, this is all for PC. I'm not sure about the Mac procedures for this. But if you click on Show in Folder, you will see that it has download into the Downloads folder. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Downloads folder and find that file. And as you see, I actually have 3 copies of it because I've practiced this a couple of different times. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the file that says 6th grade lesson plans and resources, and I'm going to drag it over to my desktop. Now you can also put it in another folder if you prefer, but I like dragging it to the desktop because I know I'm going to be able to find it there. Okay, and so I look right here, and here it is, and it's a zipped folder. And what that means is that the files have been zipped up or compressed inside that folder. And so we're going to open it up. And I see here that there's my files. But what I want to do is I want to extract the files. So you want to go up here to the top where it says Extract All Files. And it's going to ask you where you want to extract it to. Well, here it says the desktop, and that's the name of the folder, and that's fine with me. So I'm going to let it extract. And the reason that you want to extract the files is so that you can work with them and edit them more easily. So make sure that you do that before you start trying to work with them, because it's not going to work very well if they're still zipped up in the folder. And so then it's going to take me to my new folder that it's created. But if it doesn't happen to open up right away, you can just go right back to your desktop, and you'll now see that there's the zipped folder, and here's the folder that is no longer zipped. So I'm going to click on that one right there. And there's all my files. So if you have any trouble with this, you can always come to my website and just click on, go to elementarylibrarian.com and click on Contact, and I'll be happy to help you if you are having trouble with the download. I hope that you enjoyed the lesson plans, and I hope that your students have a lot of fun creating their research projects. I would love to see any completed projects. Just send them my way when you guys get finished. Thanks so much.